Everybody is calling this the everything bubble, and I am not. I call it the almost everything bubble because you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, that gold and silver are currently undervalued compared to historic norms. So yeah, let's continue. You've got the bulls, the bears, and the turtles. Oh my. One of the things I noticed is that the highest price prediction for 2022 is $50, that it could hit $50. So some of these professional firms thinking that it could go back up to its high of 1980, its high of 2011. And then there are some price predictions that are higher than that, $100 possible in the coming years. So it's not a 2022 prediction. $500 possible this decade, not a 2022 prediction. So the highest that they are predicting is a potential by the end of the year of $50. I just find it interesting that people they really hedge their bets here. All of these professionals, most of them go pretty conservative. The ones that said that $50 is possible this year those were the bulls. But there's very few of them here. Most of them, and the fact that you couldn't find very many people willing to even give a prediction is very, very telling. So yes, the hybrid metals with a dual purpose and dual catalysts, that is very, very important because it's the industrial demand that currently takes silver off of the market, and usually forever. Most of the silver gets dumped into landfills after it's used industrially. It isn't recycled. And so that keeps inventories low when the economy is growing and when we're making more things, like you're going to cover in a minute, some of the things that we're making that have jumped. That keeps the supply low, so that when the second factor, the investment demand, comes in, there isn't enough to go around, and then the price goes through the roof. I know primary silver producers, that is something that is getting very, very tight. But as the economy grows, there's so much more copper, zinc, and lead used in the economy that helps to supply a lot of the silver, more than half. And if the economy slows for some reason, if there's any downturn in the economy, especially if there's a major crash or a currency crisis, just when everybody wants silver, all of the byproduct supply dries up. So the total supply falls by like 50, could be up to 50%. So what are your thoughts on that before we really get into the investment demand and how that can kick into the investment demand? If they're building less homes in China that require copper plumbing for the hot water and copper wiring, and we're producing less cars for some reason, with internal combustion cars, you're using lead acid batteries. Cars use a lot of zinc castings and such. So all of those, when those industrial metals, when they fall in demand, and that's where that silver comes as a byproduct of mining those things, that means the silver supply drops, and that could fall by half or more, in my opinion, in a big economic downturn. Like, for instance, that we had in 2020, we had a huge economic downturn. And, you saw the supply chain disruptions. Everybody pulled back. And then when the economy came back, there wasn't any supply. Well, when that happens with an investment, this is leading into your next topic, investment demand. When that happens with an investment and supply is super tight, investment demand, it's all supply demand. It's settled by price. Supply and demand is always settled by price. If industrial metals, if there's less demand because of a global slowdown, as investment demand surges, one of the things that we've seen lately is that more and more people are trying to take bars off of the commodities exchange and use other vehicles that will not add to this basically fractional reserve scam, I call it, where there's not the amount of silver there that has actually been sold by futures traders. It isn't there when the longs want it. And so more and more people are finding a way. One of them is buying physical silver, a way of taking this off of the commodities exchange. And when everybody is rushing into silver, and things like SLV, a fund that buys bars from the commodities exchange, if they are trying to get bars, but bars aren't flowing onto the commodities exchange because of the drop in the economy and the drop of base metals mining and the drop in all of this secondary supply of silver, this byproduct supply, price demand. I think your predictions are great in here. They're wonderful. But actually, I think they're conservative. One of the things I want to remind the audience is, if you remember March of 2020, the gold-silver ratio hit 120, and I think that was because of silver. What did silver fall to, $12 then?
Yeah, it was around $12, right?
Yeah, right. Silver fell all the way to $12. And as a comparison to gold, it became very, very undervalued. So the ratio was above 120 ounces of silver to equal the same price as 1 ounce of gold. And that marked out the low of both gold and silver. And then they started to rise.
Yes.
Silver rising faster than gold, which caused the ratio to fall. So this is a great predictor of the price peaks and dips. It's excellent as far as a tool to forecast the future. I love looking at silver in its entire bull market. In 72, it was at $1.31 an ounce. And so from $1.31 to $50 is a 3,700% gain. And so I've always liked to look at that. I would love to see this same chart expressed as 1972 to 80, 2001 to 2008, and the December of 2015, I think, is when gold and silver bottomed in that the cyclical bear within a secular bull. And so from 2015 until today, because I find the shorter term stuff very difficult to predict and trade in and out of. And so I've been sticking with it for all these years.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.